right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Temperatures starting off at the 30s and 40s this morning, but that's not going to be the case anymore the next few days. How warm it is tomorrow morning and how close we are to record highs.
A truck slams into a St. Charles church, crashing right into the sanctuary.
It is really difficult to look at now that I'm actually standing here and everything's starting to really sink in.
Tonight, our crews get an exclusive look at the damage inside. But first, Iran launching a retaliatory strike against Israel, sending dozens of drone strikes toward the nation. How the Biden administration is responding to the growing conflict. We want to thank you for joining us at 10. I'm Brent Solomon. For the first time ever, Iran launches a direct military attack on Israel. The Israeli military says Iran has launched more than 200 drone and missiles towards Israel. Explosions have been seen over more than half a dozen cities, including Nazareth and Jerusalem. Iran had been threatening an attack after an Israeli airstrike destroyed Iran's consulate in Syria, killing 12 people, including 2 generals. The two nations have been on a collision course throughout Israel's ongoing war against Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip. And tonight, the Israeli army says many of the incoming threats have been intercepted by Israel and U.S. forces.
We are closely monitoring Iranian killer drones that are en route to Israel sent by Iran. This is a severe and dangerous escalation. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are at the highest level of readiness, ahead of this large-scale attack from Iran.
In an effort to stop the drones, Israel has closed its airspace, canceled flights for 2 days, and disabled some GPS location services. The U.S. military has also moved to defend Israel from the Iran attack.
I don't believe they're going to get into Israeli airspace. They will be shot down long before they get to Israeli airspace. What I'm very concerned about is what will complement these drones. But they could potentially attack not only multiple targets, but from multiple directions with multiple types of systems.
President Biden cut short a vacation weekend in Delaware, returning to the White House, where he and his national security team are now monitoring this situation. 5 on your side will continue to follow the latest developments in the Middle East. You can find updates on air, ksdk.com, and on the 5+ app. Let's get you now to a story we've been following all day long. A truck crashes into a church right here in St. Charles, prompting changes for tomorrow's services. 5 on your side's Annie Crawl, the only reporter to see the damage, moments after first responders arrived.
We were the first news crew on scene just about 30 minutes after the crash happened. As you can see over my shoulder, construction crews now working on filling up the giant hole left behind by seemingly a large pickup truck that was yellow, and police and fire crews trying to work on making sure that building doesn't collapse and not pose a threat to the community. I spoke with Captain Kelly Hunsel with the St. Charles Fire Department as they made sure the building was safe to enter and eventually patch up with wood. For the owner, she told me that the only injury was the driver, who was taken to a local hospital for his injuries. As the investigation continues, though, St. Charles Fire says it looks like the driver was trying to avoid a different potential collision, but then unfortunately ran into the side of the Emerson Unitarian Universalist Chapel. Instead, neighbors in the area were shocked at the scene, and fire crews were just grateful it wasn't worse.
Most people think, accidents only happen when there's inclement weather, icy, rainy, things like that. But we have incidents like this every day of the year. It doesn't matter how nice or bad the weather is.
They came through the parking lot and right into our sanctuary, right over all of our chairs, and crashed into the computer even. I kind of didn't compute right away, like how devastating this really was. The first thing that went through my mind was, well, thank goodness no one it was here at the chapel.
The Emerson Unitarian Universalist Church had an open mic on Friday night with about 15 people, and they tell me they can have anywhere between 20, 30, even 40 people at service on a Sunday morning. They are expecting to have a Zoom online spiritual meeting at 10 in the morning on Sunday. Reporting in St. Charles, Annie Crawl, 5 on your side.
Tonight, a deadly crash is under investigation in O'Fallon, Missouri. It happened around 2 at the intersection of Main Street and Ashford Place. Roads were shut down for several hours there. At least one person is dead. We don't know how many cars were involved, and police have not yet identified that victim. We will update you as we learn more. Right now, St. Louis police are investigating a shooting that left a man dead inside of his car. It happened at the intersection of Page and Sarah around 2 this afternoon. Police say the victim was in his car when someone shot him multiple times. He died at the hospital. Right now, the victim has not been identified. Police have not released any info on a suspect. Well, a Central West End cookie shop is facing possible eviction. According to the St. Louis Business Journal, Hot Box Cookies is being sued by the landlords of its Euclid Avenue location. Living Euclid LLC is a New Jersey-based real estate company that owns the property. It says the late-night cookie shop is overdue on rent and owes nearly $44,000, according to court documents. Hotbox says it signed a 10-year lease for that space back in 2020 for a little less than $4,000 a month.
This is, the first day of the build day, but it's been a process that's been going on since about 2022.
This morning, more than 100 volunteers gathering at Carondelet Park, clearing out a spot for a growing sport. Mountain biking grew in popularity in Missouri during the pandemic, and today, volunteers broke ground on St. Louis's first mountain bike trail. We caught up with the cyclist behind this trailblazing effort. It's Saturday morning at Carondelet Park, and the shovels and picks are flying.
We're literally starting from the ground up.
Kelly Gavin is putting in some sweat equity with her kids, neighbors, community leaders, and mountain bikers.
It'll be the first mountain biking trail in the city of St. Louis. We live not too far from here, so I'm excited that we'll be able to hop on our bikes. I've got 2 girls that both love biking. We'll be able to hop on our bikes from our house and ride over here.
The dream of building this trail started back in the fall of 2022.
So that started this whole process of getting to know our parks commissioner, working with my alderwoman, Ann Schweitzer, working with GORC, Gateway Off-Road Cyclists, and Southside Cyclery. And we started a coalition to start what you're seeing today.
Making that dream a reality took a group effort, and the biking community answered the call.
This is the first phase. Our second phase that we've already have approval for is going to be on the other side, and that will be another loop altogether. It'll be about a mile of a trail for kids to come and practice their skills in the city, for community to come and hike and just kind of enjoy nature within the city.
First Ward Alderwoman Ann Schweitzer believes this trail will be a draw to city residents and visitors.
It's incredibly exciting. This is the kind of stuff we want to see happening in St. Louis, bringing people into the city, a really fun activity for kids, and using our parks to their fullest potential.
It will also be a new place to practice for area mountain bike teams.
I don't live within 10 minutes of a park that has a mountain bike trail, and in 2 weeks I'm gonna, and it's because I made one. That's pretty cool.
My oldest daughter, who rides for South City Composite, she can practice her skills here, she can have fun. She's got friends that rides also, so they'll be able to join her, and it's in our backyard, literally, so it's a big deal.
That trail is for anyone who loves to hike or bike. An extension of the trail is slated to be built in the fall.